Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am successfully reunited with Mr. Matt Rhodes. That sounds weird. You're just back from travel.
I'm back. I missed last week's podcast because I had some travel going on.
I made it sound so ominous. Like
well,
you were in exile.
Kind of was.
You were in Iowa.
Yeah. No, I was everywhere. That was just one of the many states that I visited last week.
We'll call it exile then.
Yeah.
Stinking Iowa.
So I like we're talking about, I missed the podcast last week due to travel, but that helped me actually come up with this week's theme. So when I travel, I'm dialed in on my fitness, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm at home, just because it's part of my identity. And I hear from so many people that it's hard to stay on track when traveling. We probably need to do a podcast on that. I know that I've done some training in our free group on it, but I make it easy. And travel isn't the theme of this podcast. So if you travel or whether you don't travel, you're going to get something out of this. This is going to be good for you. Yeah. But before we jump into the theme, let's talk a little bit about that travel. If I'm traveling alone, what I do is I do a little bit of research. You know, I find places that have single ingredient foods like chicken, steak, and I look them up on the internet. Places
regular foods.
Yeah, regular foods. Places I'm going to be at. Baked potatoes, things like that. And I also research where the gyms are at the hotels, because generally hotel gyms, you can get a good workout, but you can't lift heavy weights. I try and find a local gym that I can go to. And it's easy. This is really easy. It sounds like a lot of work, but you literally take 10 to 15 minutes on Sunday night instead of scrolling through Instagram take that 10 to 15 minutes out of that and just do that little research and you're good to go. But when I'm traveling with a group, because a lot of people, when they travel with a group of people, it's the same thing. I do a little bit of research. I find those places that I can eat and the places that I can work out. And here's where it goes. This is whether you're getting ready to have dinner with your family or you're traveling with a group. Everyone says, where do you want to eat? Everyone says, I don't know. What do you want? I don't know.
No,
what do you want?
I say, I don't care.
I don't care.
Babe, you pick.
Well, they say the same thing on traveling. They don't say babe, but they say, I don't care, you pick. And it's super easy because then you just make the decision, because no one wants to make a decision. You say, oh, let's go eat here, because you've already done a little bit of research. But that's how I do that with travel. But again, that's not the theme of this. But this last week was not normal travel at all. It was 5 days, Monday through Friday, jam-packed. I mean, leaving the hotel early, driving, presenting, driving some more, getting into the hotel late with late dinners. So my game was off this week. That's not a normal week of travel for someone, what we packed in. And I felt it. I felt it throughout the weekend, just that sluggish and that tired and that worn out, because I wasn't eating the things that I wanted to. I wasn't getting all my workouts in. I was getting up early, but I felt I was running 1,000,000 miles an hour with no breaks to take care of myself for that 5 day period.
That's a profound statement. I want to revisit that. And I hope if you're listening, you clued into exactly what he said and recognized very quickly. And I'm very proud of you for recognizing it so quickly. He was running 1,000,000 miles an hour with no breaks to take care of himself. And what is one of our core values, right? Like, put your mask on first before you help others with theirs. And he didn't have those safe holds in his schedule to take care of himself. But I want you to think about your week. Was your week like that? Now, maybe not the travel, right?
You may have not went to 6 states, but
exactly. Maybe not go. But was every moment of your day filled with something? Filled with events, filled with work, meetings, so many meetings. Do you have a stacked calendar? Do you have kid events? Are you driving said kid to said events? This is the time of year there's some different school parties. Maybe there's social parties. There were 2 university homecomings this weekend. Laundry, cleaning, housework, school projects, projects at work. Like, have I described any of what we all are going through? And then let's add an entire week of travel where you don't have the opportunity to stay on your A game. Now, I will say Matt's week of travel, you already said it, that's not the norm for you.
No.
Had it begun to become the norm, we would find some boundaries for him to set. But since it's such a rare occasion, he kind of just had to do what he could. I always tell my clients, do the best you can with what you've got. Like, do the best you can. And that's what he did. Right? And maybe if it's manageable during the week, and maybe it's your weekends that's completely getting you distracted. Right? I know I mentioned a couple of university homecomings. Maybe you're off visiting family for those weekends, or you're in sun up to sundown tournaments. Maybe they're out of town tournaments. I know that when we were doing travel ball that we wouldn't get home until sometimes Sunday night, 11 p.m. So what is taking all of your time so that when you run into Monday with zero thought to execution of your goal? Now, I know that we have described a week, just one little snapshot, right? And what we talked about last week was we are what we consistently do. So how was this week different than the week before? I want you to take an honest look. How is it different than the last month before? How about last year? Are you sitting back right now saying, oh my God, how is it November already?
Yeah, the theme of this today is why you miss opportunities. And this is exactly why. Jen may have just described a week for you. And I like to equate this as something that I saw the other day on Instagram. It's called the red car theory. And I think we probably all heard this, and I saw it and it brought it up. And with my travel, it kind of pieced everything together. But let me ask everyone listening right now. I want you to think. So you probably drove somewhere today. Maybe you drove to the gym and you're listening to us right now at the gym. Maybe you drove to work and you're on, you listen to it. You're listening to us right now at work. Maybe you're driving somewhere right now listening. Here's my question. How many red cars did you see while you were driving? And I'm guessing the answer is, I'm not really sure. I think I saw some, maybe a couple, 2 or 3. Can't really remember though. What if I told you last night that for every red car you see, I'm going to give you $100? Then you'd be paying attention today. You would have been counting those. It's $100 for every one of them you see. See, that is the opportunity. You're missing opportunities because you're not looking for them. You blindly go about your week after week, and you don't slow down enough to look in the mirror and say, shit, I look the same as I did last year, because you're so busy with that schedule. And this goes on until you get that moment, in quotations, that moment, like, fuck, I need to do something about this.
I would almost say the monotony or the rhythm of the distractions lull us to sleep.
Yeah, and I gave a great example of my travel. And again, I said this isn't a travel-themed podcast this week, but it is
relevant.
That week is 1 week for me. What we're trying to do is get everyone to stop and look in the mirror and say, damn, am I piling week on after week after week after week, and I'm missing the opportunities because I don't slow down to see that red car or slow down to see that I'm having issues in this area.
Yeah. And we touched base on it last week as well, when you were gone traveling. But the red car theory equates to the RAS, the reticular activation system. And so that's why, or slug bug, right? Like
yeah.
The minute we start playing slug bug, holy hell, you're all in on slug bug, man. And I'm like, can I just go to sleep?
It's an opportunity.
Can I? I like the way you framed that. But you know that myself especially, I love to give tactics when we do our podcast, right? I want to make sure that we hit you with some truth, but give you some tactics to hopefully help dig you out of a hole. But instead of tactics today, I want to take a moment and say, let that opportunity be now. Let that moment be now. Take that moment. Wake up from that distraction sleep. Get out of that rhythm. Take a look in the mirror. Look at your relationships. Look at your relationships with yourself. Look at the bank account. Look at the trajectory of your career. You're probably successful in a couple of areas. So look at the area you're not slowing down enough to process when you have an opportunity. The monotony of distractions could distract you from your red car, your goal, your opportunity. See, like all of these flags, like 10 red cars on the highway, 10 slug bugs. They're there. They're just waiting for you to see them. But you have to open your eyes to see them. You have to create the environment to where you are awake for those opportunities. And then you have to acknowledge that you see them. And then finally, the key is after you see them, do something about it.
Yeah, in marketing, anyone who's in marketing, they know what a CTA is. That is a call to action when you market something. You put something out there and you get a call to action to get someone to move. Well, this is your call to action today, to look back, slow down, see what's going on in your life, and stop moving in the monotonous way and find a way to move forward.
I love it. Guys, this was a short one today, but hopefully we delivered some value, got Matt back in the captain's chair. I am, as always, his first mate. Okay, enough boating references. Guys, I hope you found value in today's episode. If you did, share it with a friend. Tag us in your Instagram stories. Give us a 5-star review. That's the only way we can grow this thing. And as always, talk to you next time.